What it do, what it do, what it do. Try Game TV. Remember, need a testosterone booster, Travis Effect. We on there, please. 30-day supply, take 2 capsules a day. It's a dietary supplement. Very healthy for you. Finesse 2 times. My boy been wilding lately. Well, he been wilding for a while now. Everybody know what's going on as far as him and how he feel about his record label. Yeah, man. What it do? What it do? Try Game TV. Y'all all in here. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Y'all see the description. Finesse 2 times. Who been going viral. Putting it out there to the world that he is not claiming mob ties, which is Jay Prince Jr. and his record label that he signed to. What it do, family? All y'all in here, hit that like button. What's good? What's good? What we doing? What we doing? You see the picture. It's Finesse 2 times and Jay Prince Jr. mob ties, and Finesse 2 times saying he don't want to be signed to mob ties anymore. So y'all hit that like button while y'all in here, show some love. But yeah, Finesse 2 times does have a legitimate reason not to claim mob ties. Mob ties is just not something you want to even be known to be affiliated with, especially since Takeoff passed away. You know what I mean? So, they just not a good name. They not a good brand. You know what I mean? And who wants to be affiliated with them? You know what I mean? They got too much shit going on. You know what I mean? The first dude at Boosie House, you know what I mean? That situation, the jeweler dude, and then Takeoff, and then now this shit with Ben 10 and all of that. So it's like, if you sign the mob ties, you know what I mean? It's damn near like you are who you hang with type shit. You know what I mean? Do you really want all the drama and shit that's gonna come with that shit? You know what I mean? Because of you signed to a label and then you and the label, y'all don't even fuck with each other. Like y'all don't see eye to eye. Your business is not good between y'all right now. You know what I mean? So he put it out there on live that he don't affiliate himself with mob ties. He don't do nothing mob tie related. He don't claim it. You know what I mean? So that way when he's traveling and going to other states, you ain't got to worry about a few, jackasses jumping out there. Oh, he mob ties, he this and that, woo de woo de woo. No, he done put it out there like, I don't claim that shit. I don't show up to no mob ties events. You know what I mean? So one thing about Finesse, you know what I mean, that you can't take from that nigga is that the nigga really can rap. You know what I mean? And he admitted his mistakes as far as on blowing $5 million, you know what I mean? Which is crazy as hell to me, you know what I mean? So, but hey, we can't count a man's pockets and tell a man what to do with his money, but that's some crazy shit though to blow 5 million. But he honest though, you know what I mean? And a lot of quote unquote celebrities, and you know what I mean, they don't, you'll have a football player, you'll have an athlete put it out there fast, like, oh, I'm going through financial shit or whatever, you know what I mean? But a rapper, they gonna try to hide it and cover it up as much as they can. They ain't gonna really be honest like finesse and put it out there and just be real and be like, look, I blew $5 million on Rolls Royces, jewelry, a house, and all type of other shit. So y'all hit that like button and subscribe while y'all lay here and set your notifications. But you gotta get a nigga his props though, who be honest to the world, because he really don't got to, you know what I mean? Because a lot of them really don't. Who done with bankrupt, got fucked out of their publishing, all type of stuff, and they don't keep it real and go on these different interviews and talk about everything else. But what really goes on that could really help somebody to avoid that situation, like taxes and a lot of shit, you know what I mean, which is very important when you're making a certain level of money, But I understand them though, Mob Ties, they got a bad name, you know what I mean? And then when you a rapper, you traveling doing shows, you don't want none that come with that shit. You got too many wannabe tough niggas out there. It's tough niggas everywhere nowadays, you know what I mean? It's a lot of them wanna be tough. They want to put it out there that they got the Shiesty on, and they got the Drake or the ARP and all this shit, and they ready to slang out, you know what I mean? So you just trying to get your bag, get paid for a walkthrough or do a show, and then you trying to make it back to the spot, you know what I mean? Ain't nobody trying to do all that extra shit.
What's up? I just subscribed to you. Question: some guy kicked me out of his live stream for having a check mark next to my name. Are you okay with me being here?
Yeah, you subscribe, dog. We don't trip like that at this Tribe Gang TV. What I want you to do is just go to all my old lives, hit the like button, share my shit, and get to know a nigga. That way you know who you're dealing with. And, don't just judge me off this live right here. Check out all my old content. Check out my merch. I got female apparel, men apparel. So, yeah, check me out, learn me, and you know what I mean, and know who you're dealing with. That way when you come on live, you know you ain't dealing with no phony. But I appreciate you, you know what I mean, for sure, salute. But yeah, finesse 2 times, you know what I mean, like I say, he have his moments where he be spasmodic and shit like that, but he honest, he might be off the drink, you know what I mean, he's smoking on the Marley, not in no disrespectful way, you know what I mean, might throw a few thigh yowls back, and he get on his level, but you know what I mean, he do have his moment of honesty about what's going on around him and shit. So I definitely understand him about the Mob Tie shit. There's too much stuff already going on in the world. And it is a saying that either you are who you hang with, or you are who you affiliate yourself with. You know what I mean? So, he been quit wearing the Mob Ties chain. And I remember King, who he used to try to raise and take care of before he hung his own self and played himself out of a situation, put it out there that finesse 2 times, he didn't get the Mob Ties chain stolen. He really pawned it or used the diamonds or something and got an F&G chain made. I forgot how he really explained the shit, but he won out the deal, and 9 times out of 10 with J. Prince Jr., his father probably the one orchestrated that deal, and just somebody who has like 40 years of experience as far as the record game, the industry, you know what I mean? So, Finesse admitted this on his live that, he know this dude got a lot of ties and a lot of connections, and even just when certain people hit a name, you know what I mean, they don't even want to take the case, like, you know what I mean, because they pretty much heard about this dude as far as his father, not Junior. You know what I mean? So a lot of people I read in the comments, some say Junior put in work. He used to have some shit back in the day called Young Mafia. And then some people also talk about how he privileged, you know what I mean? But we gotta remember, man, some people can't help what they're born into. Yes, we do see a lot of dumbasses who is in blessed situations who choose not to take advantage of it, and they choose to go other routes, and you don't got to. When you got a whole father who's a millionaire or half a millionaire or whatever, he may just have a business, and you choose to go take a whole nother route, and you know what I mean, you just stupid. That's just all it is. So yeah, finesse 2 times say, man, fuck Mob Ties, he ain't claiming it. And he got a legitimate reason to, because one thing he's starting to realize, you know what I mean, that he liked fame. You know what I mean? Like before he went to prison, he was rapping and dropping videos, but it wasn't his style and all that shit. It wasn't like, to me. I mean, I didn't like the shit or whatever. But when he got out, when you get a taste of that shit, a private jet and the lifestyle and all of that, you know what I mean? You don't want to leave that shit. And even if you do get locked back up, and you are someone when you get locked back up, okay, so what? You got people writing you, shooting you emails and shit like that. Random fans, somebody they'll send you a clothes box or they'll order you one or a food box and shit like that. So that could stroke your ego because you feel like, okay, this bit right here might be more easier than the first time when a lot of people ain't know you like that. Motherfuckers ain't reach out to you and shit like that. So it has its ups and downs as far as the entertainment, how you can be cocky as fuck or whatever. But I like that he's putting it out there like that because, like I said, man, people affiliate you with, you know, it's kind of like you are who you hang with type shit. And he feel he too grown for that, you know what I mean? You know, he got sugar, he got kids, you know what I mean? So he cupcaking real hard right now, but he ain't hiding it, you know what I mean? He put it out there for everybody to see and shit like that. So, yo, man, you know, this Tribe Gang TV, you know what I mean? I appreciate all y'all tapping in with your boy. Share this video, like, comment, subscribe. You know what I mean? Give me your thoughts and your views on this shit about Finesse 2 Times putting a major distance between him and Mob Ties, which is very understandable because, tell you the truth, like, I didn't fuck with Mob Ties anyway and shit like that, but after the Takeoff shit happened, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, like the rapper Takeoff from the group Migos, after that shit happened, it really put a dent on Jay Prince now, as far as that really did, man. A lot of people really fuck with Takeoff, like, and after that happened, and then it was how he went about the shit, like, you know, the man gets stretched out, you damn near act like you don't know the man, just walk past him, you see him laid out on the floor, Quavo right there, you know what I mean, having an emotional meltdown and shit, like, 'cause that's his nephew. So, you know, after that, man, people ain't really look at him the same as far as if you did fuck with him, because, you know, it's like, you know, I mean, it's always like an old law, old street law, and I'm gonna end it with this. Even when you was back in the game, right, and you know what I mean, like you traveling and hustling, getting money in different states, and you connected with dudes in different states, it was like an unwritten law, like, if that person come to your state, he ain't your care type shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the same thing with the rap game. Like, if I'm a rapper and you and your family or whoever's supposed to have a certain amount of clout, you know what I mean, as far as what people know who y'all is, and then me and my crew, we come to you, and then we round the city through you, and you know, we already showed it through videos, pictures, and shit before that we fuck with each other, and then that happens, that just, we can't recover from that because from what I'm hearing, some of your surroundings is the one who did the shit to Takeoff. So you and a person can never have a relationship again. You can never recover from that shit. And like I said, ever since that Takeoff shit happened, it put a bad dent on Mob Ties where not too many people want to be affiliated with that shit. And then from what I'm hearing, that his label deal is with Atlantic Records. So Atlantic Records, from what I'm hearing, they ain't really answering the phone like that, you know what I mean? But then again, like I said, with Jay Prince Jr. having Jay Prince Sr. as his father, I'm pretty sure the paperwork and everything is fixed up to they way, you know what I mean? Like his father ain't gonna let him do no deal with him being a major powerhouse in the game for 40 years without him making sure that shit is gonna fall in their favor, you know what I mean? So Jay Prince Jr. is just the body. Jay Prince Sr. is the mind. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Tap in with Finesse 2 Times. He be on one. He funny as fuck. And yeah, he say fuck Mob Ties. So, like I say, man, share this shit, like, comment, subscribe, Try Game TV, and we out.